Let's look at assignment 1.1. So in module 1, basic drawing and editing, drawing assignment 1.1, the square cow. When we click on that, let's look at the instructions for this. What we're going to be using in this is our first drawing assignment that'll be graded. We're going to focus on the line command. All right, and specifically we're going to focus on direct distance entry and also using dynamic input. We'll also be looking at real-time pan and zoom just to move the model around or the drawing around so that we can make room for the other drawings that we want to do, and then of course saving the file and going through the plot to PDF function. All right, instructions for this assignment. So we're going to start a new drawing using the AutoCAD template. All right. I want you to do two things though to set up the drawing. I want you to make sure that dynamic input is on. Okay. And there's the status bar button. And then I want you to turn off polar tracking. All right. Now, I will say this. If you're having a lot of trouble with this one, then you might want to turn polar tracking on and use the angles of 30 degrees and 45 degrees for those settings. I'll show you how to do that while we're doing the work on this, but I would like for everyone at first to try to do the drawings with polar tracking off. It's just going to be a little bit more work, but it's going to reinforce some of the angles and command entries that using polar tracking kind of automates for us. Okay. The drawing that we're going to be working on is the square cow, okay? And this is what the drawing looks like. You can see it's vaguely cow-shaped. We got the legs, and then I'm not sure whether this is the front end or the back end, but okay, there's the square cow. The dimensions are given for each side. All right, there's some open dimensions down here, but we can calculate those by adding and subtracting these other numbers here, and I'll do that for you as I run through this sample problem. So you're going to draw the square cow 3 different ways. You're going to draw it first horizontally, or as it's shown right here. Okay. Then you're going to draw it a second time. You're just going to move the first drawing over to the side, and you're going to draw it a second time with the cow rotated at 45 degrees. So everything here is going to be rotated at 45 degrees. And then you're going to draw it a third time with the cow rotated 30 degrees. Now it doesn't matter to me whether you rotate it up 45 degrees or down 45 degrees or which direction. As long as it's rotated 45 degrees, it doesn't matter. And this is just going to reinforce some of the coordinate entry methods, polar coordinates, and direct distance entry methods that are going to be necessary as we move on through the course. Okay, so the intention here is the drawing is going to be relatively simple. We're not focusing on complex geometry, but we just want to start to build that skill of entering the data in a accurate and efficient manner. Okay. So let's look at AutoCAD. All right, so let me pull these aside. And let's get into AutoCAD. Now I'm going to close this because I want to go through the whole process again for you. So we're going to start a new drawing. And we're going to use the AutoCAD template, AutoCAD.dwt right there. All right, and now we're ready to go. We want to make sure that dynamic input is on, which it is, and that polar tracking is off, again, which it is. Okay. So now we're ready to start drawing, and I guess the first question is, well, okay, so where do we start drawing? Well, when I draw this, it makes sense to, actually with any drawing, it makes sense to look at the dimensions and to see where a logical origin or start of your drawing is going to be. And for this drawing here, because the dimensions more or less come out of this corner, that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with this corner. Okay, so let me push that to the side. Of course, while you're watching this, please have that drawing up, so that you can watch me do this. So let's go to the line command, and we're going to pick a point to start with. Okay, so where I start the drawing, it doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter at all. So I'm going to pick this point right here, and now I'm starting in that top left-hand corner. So let's draw down, all right? And the distance I want to draw down is 1.5 units. In fact, I'll keep this over here. Okay, so you can see I'm going down 1.5 units. So what I'm going to do that is using direct distance entry. I'm going to type in a distance of 1.5, and my angle is going to be, and you can see it's kind of leading us into that correct angle. It's going to be, and you can even use this to kind of cheat. It's not really cheating. It's going to be 90 degrees, right? So I'm going to draw 1.5 at an angle of 90. Now, if you're wondering why the drawing is getting smaller or larger here, it's because I'm using the mouse wheel. All right, so I'm going to go down 1.5 and I'm going to type in 90 and hit enter. All right, and then there's my line. All right, now we're going to come over to the side again. So let me bring this back up, and we're going to go a distance of 1. Okay, so I'm going to go a distance of 1, tab, 0 degrees. Okay, so the process here is very simple. Okay, we're going to type in the distance, and we're going to type in the angle. We're going to type in the distance, and then we're going to hit tab to go to the angle, and we're going to type in the angle. I'm not really holding on to the mouse right now, right? If you hold on to the mouse, what happens is you end up, moving and kind of changing things. So I'm just going to let go of the mouse. We do not have to get the line to be exactly where we want to go, right? The line can be off here. The numbers that we put in are going to tell us where it goes. So now I want to go down 2.5 minus 1.5, or 1, right? So a distance of 1, tab, 90. And now we're going to move across 0.5, 0.5, tab. What is the angle here? Well, we're going to be moving due east, so that's going to be 0 degrees. So now we're going to be drawing back up. We're going to be going due north, okay? A distance of 1, tab, and the angle is going to be, well, again, we can kind of see if we want to cheat. It's not really cheating, right? You can help yourself out. But we're going to be moving to 90 right there. So I can type in 90. All right. Let's see how far this distance. That's 1.5. So we're going to type in 1.5, tab, 0 degrees. Enter. Now, just to show you how the angles and everything works, I'm going to leave my mouse up here. Okay, now where I actually want to draw is I want to draw down this way, right? But if I leave my mouse up here, what's going to happen? The distance is going to be okay. So I'm going to type in 1, and I'm going to hit tab and go to the angle. But now the angle, well, clearly I'm going in the other direction. If I type in 90, it's going to go up. Well, I don't want to go up. So how do we get the line to undo? I gave it away. We type U, undo. So how am I going to do this? 1, tab, I want to go down either all the way around to 270 degrees, or I want to do minus 90. Okay, so I'll do both and show you. Look, 270 means I'm going, starting due east, and I'm going 90, 180, 270 degrees in a counterclockwise fashion. There we go. Okay, or let me undo that, and let's go 1, tab, and let's do minus 90. All right. So the question here is, can we put in minus angles? Well, sure. A minus angle, a negative angle, just means that we're going to be going the opposite of counterclockwise, right? Remember, positive angles are measured counterclockwise. Negative angles then are going to be measured clockwise. So minus 90 clockwise is going to take us due south. Okay. Now, it's important to note that these negative angles are relative, right? If I do negative 90, let me do this down here. All right, so you can see that that's correct. Let me undo that. And if I go down here and type in 1 tab minus 90, well, now it's the opposite of the way that I'm showing here. So if I hit enter, it's going to go back up. So you have to pay attention to where your mouse is pointing the line towards, all right? But you don't have to physically move the mouse to get it right on the location, okay? So 1 tab minus 90, and we go like that, okay? Now, 0.75 tab 0, and then we're going to 1 tab 90. We go up here. All right. Now we're at the point where there's no dimensions. Okay. Or it's not explicitly dimensioned. So let me bring this back. Okay. So we're at this area right here. All right. And the way that we can calculate that, right? The dimensions are not missing. If we added the dimension, technically it would be over-dimensioned, right? So what we need to do is we need to take 5 and we need to subtract 1 minus 1 minus 0.5 minus 1.5 minus 0.75. All right, and I'm going to do that for you right here. So we go 5 minus 1 minus 0.5 minus 1.5 minus 0.75, and it should be 1.25. Hey, what do you know, 1.25. All right, so that distance right here is 1.25. All right, so let's move that off. Let's go back to our drawing. And we want to go 1.25 tab 0 degrees and hit enter. And now we're on the home stretch. We want to go up 1.5 tab 90. And then we want to go back to the beginning. Now, we have a couple of different options for doing this. We could, of course, type in 5 tab, what's going due west would be 180. Right? We could do that. Let me hit enter. There we go. Or, I'll undo that. Or we could use object snap, something that we haven't talked about yet, but we don't have object snaps on, but we could snap to the end right here. But the other method I showed you in the last video, we could use the close option. So if we type in C to close, what it's going to do is it's going to connect the line where we're at with the line where we started, and it's going to end the command. So type C to close, hit enter, and then there we go. All right, so there's the first square cal. That's the horizontal one, right? So now to draw the second square cal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pan command. I'm going to push down on the wheel, and I'm just going to move this over here. And I'm going to start my new cal right over here. Okay, so we go back to the line command. And I'm going to start the same point, the top left-hand corner. Only this time, we're going to draw the 45-degree angle cal. Only this time I have to pay more attention with my angles. All right. Now this is where, frankly, it's going to be a challenge, right? And what I suggest is you take a sheet of paper and you write down what these angles are going to be. Okay. So let me show you what these angles are going to be. So if we're moving down here, the angle is going to be 45 degrees below the horizon. So that would be 45 degrees right about there, okay? If we're moving this direction, it's going to be 45 degrees going up, or in the northeast direction. Okay, so 45 that way, 45 this way. If we're going back this way, it's going to be 135 degrees. You can see there it is right about there. And if we're going this way, it's going to be, hey, 135 degrees going that way. So we can help your drawing by just using the mouse to move kind of in the direction that you want to go, and then just noticing whether it's a 45-degree angle or a 135-degree angle. Okay, so let's do this one. So we'll go, the first move is 1.5 tab 45 degrees. All right, now we want to move up this way, and I'm going to try to help myself out by moving the mouse. 1 tab 45. We're going to go down here. It's going to be 1 tab 45. Moving over here, it's going to be 0.5 tab 45. Moving up 1 tab. Now here, this is going to be 135 degrees. So this is 135. And then we move across this way. It's going to be, I forgot what that is. .5. So it's going to be 1.5 tab 45. And I'm going to pan this down a little bit. We go 1 tab 45. And now this is going to be 0.75 tab 45. Once you get into the rhythm, you'll see 1 tab 135. It moves a little bit faster, so I'll pan down to give me some room. This is 1.25 tab 45, and then we go up here 1.5 tab 135, and then we can do C to close. All right, and so I have both of my square cows. Okay, so I have the horizontal one, the one sitting on the ground, and then I have the cow at 45 degrees. All right. And the last one that I'm going to do is the cow at 30 degrees. All right. Now this one is going to be a little bit more work than the 45-degree one, because basically with the 45-degree angles, you're either going to be doing 45 degrees or 135 degrees. Now with the 30 degrees, it's going to be a little bit different. So let's start. We'll start in the same spot up on the top. All right. And I'm going to come down here. Now, if I want to draw this line is going to be at 60 degrees, so that my other line here is going to be 30 degrees. Okay, you see how that works? This one's going to be 60, and my other one's going to be 30 degrees. Alternately, you could draw this one at 30 degrees, but then this angle is going to be 60 degrees. So it doesn't matter how you do it. You're going to have a 30-60 degree pair or a 60-30 degree pair. If you're confused by all that, just watch me here. Okay, so we'll go 1.5 tab 60. And then this is going to be 1 tab 30. And this is going to be 1.5 tab 60. I think I might have drawn that too long. Let me go back here. Yep, it should be 1. Okay, so I'm going to type U and undo that, and I'm going to type in 1 tab 60. There we go, that's better. 0.5 tab 30 and 1 tab. Now look at this. So this one, we want to go back up this direction, right? So it's going to be 60 degrees back from due west, or 180 minus 60, which is 120, as I've shown you right there. So 30 and 60 going in one direction, 120 and 150 going in the other. So let me get this one 120. So this is going to be 1.5 tab 30. And this is going to be 1 tab 60, 0.75 tab 30, 1.5 tab 120. And you see right there I've messed up. So I'm going to type in U and undo that. 1 tab 120. There we go. 1.25 at, what angle is that going to be? 30 degrees. And we come up here, 1.5 tab 120. And how do we finish it up? We close it, C to close. All right. So if I pan these over here, you can see I have the 3 square cows. I have the horizontal square cow. I have the cow at 45 degrees, and then I have the square cow at, this looks like it's going to be 30 degrees. Okay, so there's my 3 square cows. I want to save this drawing file. So we can go to File, Save. And I'm going to save it in my location, which is the one I showed you before. Hopefully you have a folder saved for all this work, or set up for all this work, Summer 120, and we'll call it Square Cow Answer. We save it like that. There's that goofy thing. I will figure out how to turn that off, and I'll tell you how to do it. All right. Now we want to prepare this plot to PDF. So we go up here to Print, and we choose High Quality Print. ANSI A is good. We want to plot extents. We want to center the plot. Fit to paper is good. We want to preview it. Oh, looks beautiful. Right click, exit, and then say OK to print. And it's going to say we want to save it in our the folder that we just were in. There we are, Summer 2020, and Square Cow Answer dash model. So we save it right there. All right, and there is the answer. It shows us what our drawing is right there. Let me blow this up for you. Okay. There we go. All right. So that's the first drawing. Okay. And I think we're good to go. Please let me know if you have any questions or any problems arise from this. All right. Thank you very much.